Morno, welcome to episode 2 of The Children in the Basement, live from the apocalypse. Today we're going to be talking about the apocalypse in question, recent events in our lives, and current and past trends. Without further ado, I'm your host, Karson, aka K-Dog, and here are Ben, Taurus, and Manny. Say what's up.
Yo,
What's up?
And let's get right into it. So first, I think it's a little weird because before when people would talk about the apocalypse, it'd be like an indie rock band, but even though our name kind of sounds like that, I would still want to explain what we're talking about when we say the apocalypse. So when we talk about the apocalypse, there's like two main things right now. There's coronavirus, and then there's all the wildfires that are happening in California specifically, even though wildfires happen all over. I think Oregon's having some. But first, we're going to talk about the coronavirus and why this is feels like an apocalypse to almost everyone in school, at least. I know everyone in school feels like it's an apocalypse. Manny, does it feel kind of apocalyptic to you?
Yeah, I mean, when I woke up this morning, outside is all like orange and everything, and like I see all the smoke, and I don't like it so much. It's kind of hurts my lungs. But talking about COVID-19, every morning I wake up, do Zoom and everything, and I feel like school, since I'm so used to going to school and I can't go to school, it kind of feels like an apocalypse because I have to go on Zoom.
For sure, for sure. What about you, Taurus?
apocalypse. It feels like an apocalypse for me because it's just everything's changed. You know what I'm saying? It's just so different. You can't really go anywhere without doing certain things. It's They're saying it's dangerous to go outside and to be in close contact. So you're kind of like it's better for you to stay inside. And it's really orange right now. It's like so much worse than it was before for the fires. I think this one's just way out of control. So it definitely feels really eerie outside at this moment.
Definitely. What about you, Ben?
Yeah, it's definitely does feel like one, but it's kind of not the one I was hoping for, or at least
Hoping.
what I thought the apocalypse was going to be like. I thought it was going to be like zombies or something. Big nuke
Hmm.
goes off, but instead, like everybody's walking around with masks on. But it
Yeah.
definitely feels way different than anything we're used to because now it's like you can't like go outside and get you can't like go to a restaurant and sit down without having to like bring a mask and like hand sanitizer and stuff like that.
Hmm. Last time I asked you specifically, Ben, about the genres of music you listen to. But do any of you guys listen to Kid Cudi or Eminem? Have you listened to them recently?
I listened to Eminem recently, but I'm not like a big fan of rap.
Yeah, I know. Because I say that because they dropped a song together, and in the song, Eminem had this verse specifically about the coronavirus because it only dropped a couple months ago, if a couple months ago. And I'm gonna paraphrase, as I'm not a lyricist, but it was something about half of the country is walking around like a zombie apocalypse, and then the other half is in a casket from you coughing, something like that. And that's legitimately how it feels. I wrote it down. 898,000 people have died this year from coronavirus. It's
Ooh.
crazy. And then when you do go outside, well, I mean, I guess it matters where you're going. You can go to a more rural place, or you can go to San Francisco. You go to San Francisco, it does kind of look like a zombie apocalypse. Everyone's walking around with masks. Some people, I don't know. I haven't seen anybody in a hazmat suit, but I feel like in those bigger cities, you could definitely catch somebody wearing something goofy like that. But
Yeah.
how has the coronavirus actually affected you personally, like your plans or aspirations, or what specifically?
Well, at the beginning, um, I was like, I was like super motivated. I mean, I had like the best grades I've ever had in school, like all straight A's. I was like constantly busy with like school, and then I had FFA, and I was also on the golf team. So I was like just around the clock, always like busy doing something. And I was like happy doing it. I wasn't like feeling stressed out. I was like super cool with it because it was all stuff I wanted to do. And then the coronavirus hit, and they're like, all right, we're going to get a month off of school. And then golf team got canceled. I still had to take care of my FFA animal, but I didn't get to go to the actual Dixon Mayfair and auction it off like we normally do.
Hmm.
So I went from like being like super busy all the time, like just involved in everything. I was doing like, volunteer work for the school too. And now it's like I'm sitting at home doing nothing.
Right now, you're still not busy. Like even all the way through this, you're not busy yet.
Well, I mean, I've kept myself busy with like practicing the guitar because before I like barely knew any, but then I really picked it up because I had
Hmm.
nothing to do. And then, I mean, now I guess school keeps me busy most of the day.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm definitely just sitting inside doing nothing.
When you are busy, does it feel like you said before how like you were happy doing it, or does it feel more like boredom mixed with stress?
Definitely boredom would mix with stress because it's just like, I don't know, I didn't have the motivation that I did back a few months ago before right when the virus hit.
Definitely. What about you, Taurus?
Um, the question was the how the coronavirus like changed like
Like
my
affected your life?
um yeah, it definitely affected it a lot. Before like it got announced that we had to go on lockdown, I was about to retake my permit test because I went over the expiration date. But
Hmm.
then the DMVs got closed. I was like, because I had the money for driving instructors, so I was like really excited. I was like, I'm gonna get a car. I'm gonna be able to drive everywhere. I'm gonna be able to see my friends that are like out of town. It's gonna be awesome. And then I was like, then I tried to call the DMV. They're like, it's closed. So I was like, ah, dang. And my braces haven't been worked on. Like, well, they just recently got worked on, but before that, they didn't get worked on for like 4 months.
Hmm.
And then like putting them back on and tightening them after that long of a time would definitely hurt. And to have it be put on like right before my birthday was definitely a bummer. I've been keeping myself entertained by having jobs. I've had like 3 jobs since the corona um, incident, but now I just work at McDonald's
Hmm.
and it's fun. But like anytime I'm not working, it's kind of boring. I just feel really unmotivated to do most things.
Yeah.
But I also keep myself busy with like with hanging out with friends, like from my church and stuff, which is nice.
Tight knit group. But yeah, I relate because like we'll get into later, our birthdays are one day after each other. You're on the fourth, I'm on the fifth, and I didn't have an appointment. I was able to go get my license in late December, but I was like, no, that's kind of putting a lot of stress because I didn't have money to pay for it. I was like, that's putting a lot of stress on my family. Like it's the holiday season. I'll wait until January, but like things just like kept on happening. So I was like, all right, March. March didn't happen, but we had an appointment set for June 5th. I remember it. And then March something or other, the whole lockdown hit. So now I'm like, wow, I'm gonna have to retake the whole permit test. Fun fact, I failed it the first time because I did not take it seriously. I should have taken it seriously. But in my defense, I failed the questions. They were like, what's the fine for leaving your dog on the side of the road? I don't plan to do that, so I didn't think I needed to know it. But you do. If you are going to take it, please know those questions. But yeah, like how it affected me personally was it made me get my license later, which isn't like that big in the grand scheme of things because a lot of people don't even get their license till they're 18. Um, it affected me because I'm not actually in school, and I feel like a lot of people other than me like don't like feel the same way about, or have the same relationship with school because I never liked school. Let me rephrase. I never liked school after middle school started. School became kind of a burden, but unlike other people who went to school to go see their friends, I went to school to actually like, go and learn things. Like I find like learning things interesting, and I feel like I'm just not soaking up the same amount of information, or I'm just not soaking up as well. Which that's actually kind of a bummer because this year I got AP government, which I'm actually looking forward to, but by then you never know. We might be back in school. Um, but yeah, that's how it's affected me so far. What about you, Manny?
I mean, it's been affecting me like different because my dad's hobbies is like CB radios and he has breaks and everything. It's kind of hard to explain, but what's called he has hobbies like Labor Day, and so this past weekend, and we usually have a Labor Day break and everything. Like it's my dad's hobby, and like that got canceled because of COVID, and then like basically I just been staying at home playing video games because like outside I usually like go outside, go to events and everything, but like everything's closed because of COVID. And that's pretty much about it. But school, yeah, I don't learn that much, I don't think. Like going to school, I would learn more, but like staying at home, I don't think I learned as much as I would be going to school. And like hang out with friends, like I could still hang out with friends and everything, but COVID and everything. But yeah, it's different. And we just had, it's like the new normal. But yeah.
It actually sadly isn't normal because I was thinking about the other day. I was thinking, I was like, when this does end, like, will I like feel comfortable not wearing a mask when I go places? Because I personally don't feel like it's infringing me or like, um, I don't know the word, constricting my airflow. And I think like it's cool. Like if masks actually do work, which some people think they do, some people think they don't, um, you you would get less diseases. Like you'd be sick less of the time. And I'm like a sickly person. I'm always hurting myself, so I think that'd be cool not to get sick every couple months. So I sadly do think it's gonna be the new normal for a lot of people. And um, I actually want to talk about like things opening up because like on March 31st, like last day of March, like that's the America shut down like somewhere in March. I don't remember the exact day, but on the 31st there was just over 25,000 new cases, and then I remember right there, like in March. I don't know if you guys remember it, but I remember being in the radio booth when school was being announced that we were closing for a month or a month and a half. I can't remember how long exactly it was. It was sometime in April. But I remember like everybody was like freaking out. Everybody in like the world at that time. But then like April came and everyone's like, okay, when's it's gonna end? And then like late April came and everybody's like loosening up on like how like strictly they're like staying at home and doing stuff. But March, April, May, June, July, 5 months, and that's when like the actual height of the coronavirus happened in America. There was 76,000 new cases on July 17th, and then in like a couple days ago, on Taurus's birthday, there was 50,000 new cases, and like no one like cares anymore, which I think is extremely understandable because of like how much of effect this has on like your life. And I'm actually getting into my next question. You told me how coronavirus has affected you now. How will 2020? How long do you think 2020 will have an effect on your life? We'll start with you, Ben.
Ooh. Um, Probably for a really long time because things are going to be really different even after the coronavirus
Mm,
because I mean you see like all these like what was it we saw the other day on CNN 10? Burger King like completely like redid their whole like system so it's like you can go in there like it's supposed to be like super COVID safe. Like I can imagine like a lot more restaurants and like places like that, like businesses just being like completely constructed different. So it's COVID safe. And so like obviously after the breakout is over, it's gonna be like that's gonna be still left there, you know. But
definitely.
for like personally, I think it's gonna yeah, it still will affect me for a long time because like when I go to college, if the virus is over or not, lots of colleges are like making uh, the SAT like optional, you know, so it's like maybe I don't have to take it or not, whichever I feel comfortable with. So it has its like ups and downs on how it will affect. Because like if I don't want to take the test, then I don't have to for a lot of colleges.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would take like a too much of a big toll unless I actually caught COVID-19.
Yeah. Do you guys agree with him, or do you have something else to say?
I have something else to say. So, what's it called how it's gonna like affect. I say it's gonna affect like my future like generation, like my family, like in the future, like my kids and everything. Like what's it called it's history. It's gonna be history to them. Like they're gonna like realize what's it called like how I would like say what's it called my last year is a senior year, my last year I was a senior in high school, right? And then they're gonna realize their last year senior in high school, like it's gonna be different for them like than it was for me. Like you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it would be like legitimately looking back into history.
Yeah, like the history is gonna be way different for me than it is for gonna be for them, I feel.
That's kind of how I think too, because I've talked about it with my history teacher. Like it's kind of crazy that different states have different history textbooks because I don't understand how that happens in the same country. But yeah, I do think it's weird because a lot of people like make this comparison when they're talking about like the greatest players in basketball. Like people say, "Oh, you're watching history whenever you watch LeBron play." You're literally living in one of the most influential historical moments of the last 20 years, at least 20 years to 40 years since like the Cold War. And that's crazy. But other than that, we're kind of running short on time, so we're gonna have to kick it over to the next topic. But the next topic we got is the actual wildfires. That's what we're talking about when we mean like it's orange out here. I woke up this morning and it was like I don't even know. Like how did it look when you guys woke up? Because there's like trees in my way, but you guys live more in the city.
It was like way darker, and I mean, I thought I like woke up at like 5 in the morning or something, but I looked over on my alarm clock and it was like 7 o'clock, and it was like almost pitch black outside. And I went and opened up my curtains, and it was just like it's like just it looks like there's this fog of just like orange smoke just
Yeah.
clouding the entire sky. Can't see the sun or anything. And when you
Over by
go
my house, it
actually
kind of looks like uh-huh.
and when you actually go outside, it just like smells like smoke, and there's just white ashes all over the like all over my backyard and like on my porch and stuff.
Yeah. I know what you mean because over by my house, it looks like someone like it looks like I'm like there's an actual painting outside. It looks like the sky is like a painting. Like you'd see like the brush strokes of like orange and gray from the smoke. It's actually kind of freaky.
It looks like unreal.
Um, yeah, it does. This is legitimately an unreal moment. Like when you see like black and white pictures of after the atomic bombs dropped in Japan, this is kind of like what I expected it to look like if those pictures were in color. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
kind of how it looks to me outside. But yeah,
I mean,
do you
all right,
guys?
so I'm gonna
Uh huh.
take over real quick. So when I woke up this morning, I woke up at like 7 o'clock in the morning, like gonna get ready for online class, and I woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning. My stepmom opened up my blinds, and I looked outside, and it was like orange. It was like black and orange. It was so weird. It was like so new and everything. So my curiosity kicked in. I went outside, and I looked like in front of my house, like where it was black and orange, and like in the sky, and I was like, whoa, what the heck? It's just so weird. It's like nighttime in the morning. It was weird. And then I went and I looked in the back side of my house, and it was like all like black and smoky and everything. Like it was just like complete darkness like behind my house. And it was a weird experience for me, honestly.
For sure. So we all went to school when the campfire happened. The campfire was the one in Butte County, not Butte County, Butte County that burned down Paradise. Um, I thought that was crazy when that happened. Like when we were in my cooking class with Miss Montgomery, and the whole Thanksgiving feast she had planned got canceled. Like I thought that was crazy. Like I was like, wow, school got canceled for a fire. Must be a bad fire. Do you think this fire actually turned out to be worse, in your opinion, than the campfire?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
I didn't
Like
even think that was possible, but I was doing some research. The campfire burned 153,000 acres, and like I just did the campfire by itself because I thought the campfire itself was crazy. Like, it burned down a whole town. Like, people used to live in this place, and it's gone. And so far this year, which has been the worst wildfire year on record that I could find, 2,283,000 acres this year have already been burned. That's crazy. You go almost anywhere in the state, and you're literally wafting through miles high of smoke. Like, that's crazy. That's legitimately crazy. And I actually looked up some other things. So California, like, if you didn't already know this, I'm guessing you could assume it. But California is like the worst wildfire state. You know, it's hot over here. You know, there's always fires here. But I was looking this up because I was interested. And I was like, how many firefighters are there actually in California? Like, how can we have this many fires? You know? So I looked it up. I was like, all right, we have 6,100 full-time firefighters. And we also use inmates, which everybody has an opinion on. And then we have some more couple thousand volunteers. But we have 6,100 certified professionals. They're on the clock. And that's in the worst wildfire state. And then just to see, I went and checked Rhode Island, how many full-time firefighters they had. So we had 6,100. How many do you guys think that Rhode Island had? The smallest state.
1,000.
Yeah, probably like 1,000, 2,000 or less.
They have 100 less than us. They have 6,000.
What?
What? That's crazy.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
Like,
Rhode Island is 775,000 acres. California is 104,765,000 acres. So approximately, Rhode Island has 8 firefighters for every 1,000 acres, and California has 6 for every 100,000.
wow.
That's low-key a problem. Like, I'm not an expert, but I would
That's
say
not
it's a
very
problem.
good.
I would, I think that there are people who there should be more people actually fighting these fires because of how out of control they've gotten in just like the last couple years since I became like globally aware of things, and I don't think like this is okay. I think there should definitely be more firefighters. There should be like a more push for like firefighters and like job fairs throughout the country and stuff. Although I was just talking about this the other day, I need a job fair. Like I feel like a lot of people online have like lost sense of what they want to do or how they could actually do it. Do you guys feel that way?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
But
last year we were gonna have a job fair come to our school, like we do normally, just a job fair with like a bunch of different colleges and then people who are looking for just young employees come to our school. But they canceled it last year for some unknown reason. It was like it was like way before we'd even heard about COVID, I think. So I don't think it was a COVID related canceling, but
yeah, I I never been to one. I always thought like job fair. I know what I want to do. I should have went. I really should have went because especially now, like everybody's losing their jobs. It's a crazy time to be alive, and I
Yeah.
just don't understand how like people can actually attain things that they want now. Like it feels like a different world. Like in the past couple months, it feels like the world and like how it works has actually changed, in my opinion. But
yeah, I feel the same way.
yeah. So, we did have some more topics, but I think we're gonna have to roll those over for next show because I do not think we have time today. But hopefully, you guys did find this conversation insightful. Maybe we could have, actually, not maybe. We will have another conversation about this in the future because it's just such a current topic. I don't think it's going to end for a while. Well, it's currency. But thank you. You've been listening to The Children in the Basement on YouTube on the 91.5 KVH Radio Rio. And hopefully we'll see you soon. This was me, Karson, Ben, Taurus, and Manny. Say goodbye, and we're out.
Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.